there. I'm your host, Leslie Randolph. I'm a self-confidence coach for teenage girls and the self-confidence coach you wish you had as a teen. Honestly, I'm the self-confidence coach I wish I had as a teen because I know I could have saved myself and my mother a whole lot of heartache if I'd only known then what I know now. I hope to save you some of that suffering by sharing the lessons I learned late in life right here on Why Didn't They Tell Us? Welcome to the show.
Hey, happy people. Welcome back to Why Didn't They Tell Us? Welcome to today's show and welcome to a new year. I am so excited to be back on the mic and to be kicking off the year with you with today's episode. So if you are new around here, welcome. I'm thrilled to have you. My name is Leslie Randolph and I'm a self-confidence coach for teenage girls. I'm so excited you're here because today we're going to be making the plan to make this your best and most confident year yet. Doesn't that sound amazing? Like, who doesn't want that for themselves and for their teens or tweens or 20-something in their life, for anybody? We all want confidence because self-confidence is the key to success. But before we get into the goodness, and there's a lot of it today, so stick around, I want you to know that there's a lot more that happens here beyond just the podcast. Because if you love what you hear on the show, then you will love this. Like I said, I'm a self-confidence coach for teenage girls, and the majority of my work happens in a one-on-one setting. And I'm excited to share that I do have a handful of spots available for one-on-one confidence coaching this semester. So what does that mean? If you're new to coaching and probably new to coaching for your teen, let me explain. Coaching is where we take the concepts and tools that I share over here on the podcast, and I tailor them specifically for the tween, teen, or 20-something in your life. Together, we set goals, we audit self-talks and beliefs about self. We explore the feelings that your daughter needs to learn how to tolerate and the ones she needs to learn how to cultivate, like courage and confidence. They're not always naturally occurring emotions. We learn to live with the tools to successfully do all the above. We celebrate together. We strategize together. And the result of this work, of this coaching, is not just the goals achieved, but more importantly, your daughter will develop the skill of self-confidence. And that lasts a lifetime. Now, if this is something that you'd want for your daughter or yourself, I always say there's a teenage girl that still exists in all of us, please reach out to me at leslieTheLifeCoach@gmail.com, or you can check out my website, confidencecoachforgirls.com, to learn more. Now, if you're not ready to commit to one-on-one coaching, but just need some tips for your teen to cultivate self-confidence, like as moms, sometimes we're like, well, what can I do to help my teen? I got you. Over on that website, confidencecoachforgirls.com, there's a tab that says free resources. Sign up, and you will get my guide, 6 simple steps to help your teen cultivate confidence. And finally, last thing happening over here, we're busy. If you are the mom of a 5th grader and you live on the North Shore of Chicago, I want to be sure you know about Confident and Connected. This is an 8-week group program where 5th grade girls can develop the self-confidence and social skills needed to thrive in middle school. And you better believe well beyond. Confidence and Connected is going to teach the girls that sign up how to navigate friendship changes with resilience. If you've lived through middle school, which chances are you have if you're tuning in, you know that a lot of friendships change. And so how do we handle those? We talk about the role self-confidence plays in connection. We talk about mindset, emotional regulation, and just so much more. We've got 8 weeks planned. And did I mention it's going to be fun? I know my audience, 5th grade girls, it needs to be fun and engaging, and we've got it all covered. If that's something that you are interested in, again, just email me, LeslieTheLifeCoach@gmail.com. I'm hoping we still have spots available when this one airs, but we'll get you signed up. It's weekly starting in January, and we'll be together for 8 weeks. It's going to be amazing. Thank you. And now back to our regularly scheduled programming. Your most confident year yet. How wonderful would that be? Well, I'm here to tell you and teach you today that that's possible. Your most confident year yet is possible. And not just for you, but for your daughter too. So if you have a teen daughter, be sure to be turning this one on when she's in the car with you, or share it with her. And please share it with all the tween and teen moms in your life. If they want to share it with their daughter, great. But also, the greatest way that we can help our teens and tweens cultivate confidence is to model it. So you can take the step first and show them how it's done. I say that this is possible for all of us, for you, for your daughter, for your mom, friends with tweens and teens, because self-confidence, and this is really important to understand, and one of the pillars that I build my work upon. Self-confidence is not like a genetic lottery ticket that some of us have and some of us don't. Self-confidence is a choice that you make and a skill you develop. And so just like you can, go to the gym and start strengthening muscles, self-confidence is a muscle. And if you go through what I propose in this episode, you can strengthen that self-confidence muscle. It is 100% something that you can strengthen, develop, and dare I say, master. And there are a few things you can start doing this year to make 2026 your most confident year yet. Are you ready for it? Of course you are. Let's go. First and foremost, I want you to get very clear on what your most confident year looks like. Like if I took out my Leslie the Life Coach magic wand and could sprinkle you with confidence like confetti, what would happen? How would you feel? What would you believe about yourself and your ability to achieve what you desire? And get even more specific. If you had all the confidence in the world, what would you do? What would you stop doing? Or maybe do more of? Maybe do less of? I want you to really and if you want to pause me, if you're driving, don't do this. But I encourage you to set aside some time to get really clear on what that looks like for you. Maybe you take pen to paper of if I had all the confidence in the world, I would do more of, I would do less of, I would start, I would stop, I would feel, I would think. Get it very clear. If self-confidence is a journey, this is almost like your destination and also the GPS coordinates of what turns you need to take this year. Now, there are 3 components to self-confidence that I want you to consider to make this your most confident year yet. And they're pretty simple. 1 is to think highly of yourself. 2 is to trust yourself. And 3, the willingness to feel all the feels. So we're going to go through each of them, and I'm going to give you some tools or some, action steps of what you can do to start creating this for yourself. So let's start with thinking highly of yourself. And I want to be very clear about this. Thinking highly of yourself is not being cocky or not being arrogant. It's simply seeing the goodness in you, your strengths, your gifts, your goodness, the quirks and characteristics that make you uniquely you. Now, our brains don't do this on their default setting. On our default setting, that beautiful brain is more of a bully than a bestie. We need to flip that script. We need to think on purpose about ourselves. We need to take the time to see and celebrate what makes us unique and amazing and a gift to this world, because each and every one of us are. You are the only you in this world. That alone makes you amazing. But we do not think that way on purpose often. If you want to develop the skill of self-confidence, you need to take the time to really do that, to see you and to see that she is incredible. So how do we do this, right? I like to have a how-to included if I'm making a recommendation, because like I said, your brain won't do it on its default setting. We have to be really deliberate. So here are a couple ways. 1 is what I call an awesomeness inventory. You can give yourself a 10 bullet points. What's amazing about me? And if you struggle with this, sometimes you need to borrow the loving lens of someone who sees all of that within you. Go into that feedback file that you get from other people of what they would say about you. Because that's you. You might not think it on purpose, but other people see it. And if you don't have any problem with that, you can see it. Write it down. Make yourself an awesomeness inventory that you can come back to with frequency. And on the note of frequency, I will say that consistency is a key to self-confidence, right? We're not going to do this once and think that we've now sprinkled the magic fairy dust of like, okay, I made my list. Where's that self-confidence? No, like any muscle we strengthen, it requires repetition. It requires not just going to the gym once, but going to the gym multiple times. So here are a few daily practices that you can do. One is my morning mirror mantras. I have a Post-it note next to my toothbrush that has a list of beliefs that I want to think on purpose daily. This is a consistent reminder for me every day that the way that I think about myself will not only inform how I feel, but then what I do in my world, how I show up. So write your own morning mirror mantras. I call them almost like your self-confidence script. What thoughts about you are you going to think on purpose today and every day? Because if it's sitting next to your toothbrush, I promise you, you are going to see it not once, but at least twice every day. And it's that reminder to our brain, hey, we're thinking highly of ourselves on purpose this year. We're going to make it our most confident year yet. And then I also recommend what I call confidence closures. You ever lay down at the end of a long day and like there's like a laundry list, like a ticker tape of all the ways that you didn't show up that day, the conversation you didn't have, the words you didn't say, or the words you did say, but you know what? I should have said this. So totally normal. Your brain is doing exactly what your brain is supposed to do. Again, on its default setting. Confidence is not a naturally occurring emotion. We have to be deliberate. We have to tap into that bestie brain. So what if we took time every day this year, at the end of the day, to think of 3 things that we are proud of, 3 achievements of that day, 3 things that we can celebrate. I invite you to do this. This is, again, flipping the script on that brain to say, hey, we're thinking on purpose this year. Most confident year yet. So to think highly of yourself, to trust yourself. Okay. I want you to think of anyone in your life that you trust. Chances are, trust requires knowing that person. So much of self-confidence is knowing who you are. See above the gifts, the goodness, the quirks and characteristics that make you uniquely you. So let's develop a beautiful relationship with self this year rooted in trust. So trusting yourself means knowing yourself. And that means not betraying your voice, your values, your instincts, your style for the approval of others. If you want to, wear a certain outfit, but wonder what other people think, trust yourself enough to wear the outfit because it's you. If you want to say something that goes against the grain, say it because it's you. This is how we develop our self-trust muscle, and we don't compromise ourselves for the approval or to avoid the disappointment of others. We are willing to be ourselves, that incredible human that it is your responsibility to be. Remember, you are the only one that is you. Go out in the world and be her. So how else do we develop the how-to of developing self-trust and not just, what we've outlined above? One of the easiest ways to do this is to keep your word to you. Like if you have set a goal of less screen time this year, then you set a limit and you stick with it. And it reminds you hey, I trust myself to follow through with what I said. If you said you were going to finish work or finish your homework before you get on a screen, follow through. Maybe even ask someone to hold you accountable. If you've decided I'm going to make my bed every day. Okay. How can you make sure that you follow through with that? Trust is also from knowing what to expect from you, and you will know what to expect from you when you follow through on what you say you're going to do because it was important to you. Want to wake up with your alarm every day? Great. Make the plan to make that happen and notice when your brain's I don't want to get out of bed. Great. Of course we don't want to get out of bed, but we want to make this our most confident year yet. So I'm going to keep my word to me. All right. The final pillar of self-confidence. the willingness to feel all the feels. Y'all, this one's hard for all of us, and particularly for teens, when those negative emotions feel so dangerous. They almost feel threatening. Like that feeling of embarrassment, awkwardness, rejection, failure. Your brain, and particularly the teenage brain, thinks those feelings are dangerous and wants to avoid them. Now, here's what I need you to know about self-confidence. Self-confidence is not a fearless emotion. It's an invitation to fear less. As long as you are a human being with breath in your body, doubt, fear, anxiety, insecurity, those emotions are going to all be there, but they cannot be the decision makers in what you do or don't do in your life. You are willing to feel all those feelings, but you choose self-confidence. Now, you know how you do this. Like this is the how-to. And it's so timely as we kick off a new year. You set a goal. Goals are a masterclass in mindset, and self-confidence is a mindset you choose. So I encourage you to set a goal this year. You can call it a resolution. You can call it an intention. You can call it a goal. But I encourage you to set one. Now, a word of warning. When you do this, your brain is going to freak out. The moment you set a goal, your brain is going to tell you all the reasons that it's not going to work, why it's a dumb idea. It's going to tell you that, like, we can't do it. I want to say this because when we know that this is going to happen, we can plan for it. We can also normalize it. Like, oh, of course, Leslie told me my brain was going to freak out. Those are just sentences in your brain that you can choose to believe or you can choose to challenge. And I invite you to challenge them by setting the goal and then making a plan to make it a reality. I encourage you to set a goal that lovingly pushes you out of your comfort zone, maybe something you haven't done before, but something that doesn't paralyze you. Because if you're paralyzed, you're not going to be able to move forward, even a small step or a giant leap. When you set that goal and you hear those thoughts in your brain and you feel those feelings of doubt, insecurity, and anxiety pop up that we've just totally normalized, because they will, I want you to recognize them, but don't respond to them. Instead, you have to choose to tolerate those emotions and cultivate the courage and the confidence. And tolerating those emotions might just be like, oh, there's anxiety, there's fear, there's doubt, and taking a deep breath. Now, if you are going to take this advice and set a goal, here's why goals are a playground for confidence. Because you're going to need the skills that we already talked about to help you achieve the goal. You're going to need to think highly about yourself and your ability to create what it is you want. You'll need to trust yourself to follow through. You'll need to trust that you'll speak kindly to you and treat yourself with compassion every step of the way. This is the key to making this your most self-confident and dare I say, best year yet. It's so simple. It's so simple, but it's not easy. And I really recognize that, right? We talked a bit about biology and how your brain is going to have a field day, and that can really stop you. But when you choose self-confidence, you do not let that default bully brain call the shots. You choose to love, believe, trust you. You choose to feel those feelings and take courageous action anyway. So, knowing it's simple, knowing it's not easy, please reach out if you want some support with this. Like I said, I've got some availability this semester and I would love to help you. And if you're like, here I go, Leslie, I love this. I'm off to make this my most confident and capable year yet. Please know I am cheering you on every step of the way. Please borrow my belief in you as you do. I know you can. All right, my friends. Why didn't they tell us that self-confidence is a choice you make and a skill you develop by thinking highly of you, trusting you, and taking courageous action, even when every other emotion is present. Doubt, fear, anxiety, they're all coming along for the ride. But you give confidence the keys to the car. I am so glad that you tuned in today so I could tell you all of this. And please don't keep it a secret. Share this episode with someone you love and help them make it their most confident and capable year yet. All right, my friends, till next time.
Love what you hear? Well, I'd love to hear from you. You can find me at confidencecoachforgirls.com. That's confidencecoachforgirls.com. Or email me at lesliethelifecoach@gmail.com. That's lesliethelifecoach@gmail.com. Hope to hear from you.